जय जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवर धरी, गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवर धरी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन, यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन, यमुना तीरवनचारी, यमुना तीरवनचारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवर धरी, यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन, यमुना तीरवनचारी, यमुना तीरवनचारी। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद, जय जय प्रभुपाद, जय जय गुरुदेव गुरुदेव, जय जय गुरुदेव, जय गौर हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल, जय गौर हरि बोल। हरि नाम संकीर्तन कीजिए। हरे कृष्ण जगत गुरु शिला प्रभुपाद जी की जय, उपस्थित भक्त वृंद की जय, ग्रंथ राज श्रीमद् भागवत महापुराण की जय। हरे कृष्ण। विल स्टार्ट विथ मंगलाचरण। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं, वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं, श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साधुवैतं सवधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पदान् सगण ललिता श्रीशगणतंस्य। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते, गोपीश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते उक्तेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम्। Hare Krishna. So we welcome everybody for this wonderful Bhagavatam session, our weekly Bhagavatam session. So thank you very much. I extend my deepest gratitude towards one on you, towards all of you, especially His Grace Subal Prabhuji, who has kindly engaged me in this service of Srimad Bhagavatam in this auspicious month of Kartik, which is now going on. It is also known as the Damodar month. So we'll try to hear something from Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the Grantha Puran, because Srimad Bhagavatam is the Vangmaya Swarup of the Lord. So that's why the Srimad Bhagavatam is non-different from the Lord. As the holy name is non-different from the Lord, as the deities are non-different from the Lord, so similarly, the Srimad Bhagavatam, who is the Granth avatar of the Lord, is non-different from the Lord. So that's why it is known as Vangmaya Swarup of the Lord. It is been said in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam that Krishna Swadhamopagate Dharma Jnana sah Kalau Nashta Drishamesha Puranarko Adunodita Krishna Swadhamopagate. So it has been said. So it has been said, Krishna Swadhamo Bhagate, when Lord Sri Krishna went back to his own abode, Goloka Vrindavan. Krishna Swadhamo Bhagate, Dharma Jnana Divisaha. So as Krishna turned towards his own abode, so all dharma, the religion, the religious principles, the transcendental knowledge, all went back with Lord Sri Krishna. Dharma Jnana Divisaha. So all went back with Krishna to his abode. And because of that, what happened? Kalau Nashta Drisham Esha. The people of the Kali Yuga, the people of this Kali Yuga, they lost their vision to see the things as they are. Hare Krishna, bro, can you hear me? Hare Krishna, can you hear me?
We can hear Prabhu, it become little low.
Yeah, voice is a bit low. पहले की तरह नहीं है.
Now it's fine.
No, Prabhu.
Little decent, no, not a problem.
अभी भी कुछ नहीं, इम्प्रूवमेंट नहीं है.
Okay, Prabhu. I'll try to speak louder, and meanwhile I'll do some settings from here. Okay,
Prabhu, I
sorry
think
for
if you come closer to it, शायद हो जाएगा. अभी आवाज ठीक आ रहा था.
Okay, Prabhu, fine.
हाँ, this is better.
I'll just... Okay, Prabhu, thank you so much. So as we were discussing that this Krishna, as he went back to his abode, to his own abode, Goloka Vrindavan, so all the transcendental knowledge, the religious principles, all went back with him. So because of that, what happened? The people of the Kali Yuga, they lost their vision of seeing things as they are, and because of that, everywhere there was only darkness and darkness. Purana arko aduna udito. So, in order to remove that darkness, in order to give that effulgence, in order to give that drishti, to see the srishti, Lord Sri Krishna came as Srimad Bhagavatam. Kalau nashta drishamesha Purana arko aduna udita. Like the sun, Krishna appeared in this in this world in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam to give light, not only the external light but the internal light to to ignite that flame of devotion in the heart of the people in general, the conditioned souls. So that's why this Krishna appeared to help the conditioned souls. And this Srimad Bhagavatam, we are so fortunate that it has been translated into English language for very first time by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And that Srimad Bhagavatam is been recited and heard and been read by all the devotees all over the world for the for the deliverance of all the people of the age of Kali Yuga. It is said in the beginning that Suta Goswami, when he appeared at the Naimisharanya, so the sages of Naimisharanya, headed by Saunaka Rishi, Saunaka Adi Rishi, they were doing a huge sacrifice because they knew that for the people of Kali Yuga, they will not be able to deliver themselves. So for them, this rishis of Naimisharan, they started a huge sacrifice. But when they heard that Srila Sutta Goswami is coming, so they took the opportunity and they abandoned their sacrifice, and they all assembled together to hear from Sutta Goswami. And they requested them that you please speak, because the subject matter which are related to Krishna is is very transcendental and it should be heard and sung amongst the devotees. And that will not only uplift the conditioned souls but also the speaker as well as the audience and the one who raises the question, so it will purify. As Shukdev Goswami also confirms this statement in Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto, that as the Ganges water purifies all the three worlds, similarly the Srimad Bhagavatam will purify all the three people, the one who speaks, the one who hears, and one who raises question, are all purified because of being touched by the transcendental sound vibration of Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is the glory of Srimad Bhagavatam. And Srimad Bhagavatam uh, is the only wealth which Srila Prabhupada, Srimad Bhagavatam and the holy name of the Lord are the two most uh, weapons, we can say, Srila Prabhupada took with him to penetrate in the hearts of the Western world, and that's why he went to the Boston, New York, and there he established this Krishna consciousness. And so this was the uh, movement which started by Srila Prabhupada for the benefit of all the people in general. So, as we can see from this particular chapter which we are reading, Srimad Bhagavatam, the first canto of the 19th and final chapter, as Shukdev Goswami appeared on the banks of Ganges to help Maharaj Parikshit in his last 7 days. So, similarly, Srila Prabhupada also, like Shukdev Goswami, he appeared on the banks of Kali Yuga, especially in this particular age, the dark age of quarrel and hypocrisy. Srila Prabhupada appeared for the deliverance of thousands of people and to make them as qualified as Maharaj Parikshit. So this is the greatness of Srila Prabhupada, because a devotee is always para dukkha dukhi and para sukha sukhi. If any person is suffering, then the saintly person also suffers. If any person is happy, the saintly person also feels jubilation. So similarly, this is the mood of the saintly person, to give, to do paropkar. As the cow doesn't drink her own milk because her drink is meant for others, as the trees don't eat their own fruits because they are meant for others, as uh, a sarovar or a river doesn't drink her own water, but it is meant for others. So similarly, the life of a saintly person like Srila Prabhupada or like Srila Sukdev Goswami is always for others, not for himself. So this teaching we can learn that we should also lead a life not to perfect ourselves only, but for the others, for the well-being of others, we should sacrifice our life. So that's why Srila Prabhupada used to call that you have given thousands of lifetimes for yourself, but please give me this one lifetime for the preaching of Krishna consciousness, and then your life will be perfected. So that's why, dear devotees, that's why we are assembled here, so that by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam and by reciting the beautiful shlokas of the Srimad Bhagavatam, not only we are purified, but the persons who are connected to us or the persons who are related to us, they will also be uh, encouraged to hear and read Srimad Bhagavatam. And Srimad Bhagavatam is like the ripened fruit of all Vedic scriptures. So it has been said by the great acharyas that all the Vedas are compared to a big kalpataru tree, a desire fulfilling tree. And that fruit of the desire fulfilling tree is Srimad Bhagavatam. And to the extent that Srimad Bhagavatam is so beautiful because it has been tasted by the lips of a parrot, and that is Shukdev Goswami. So that's why it has now become even more sweeter, because you must have seen or heard this, that when the fruit gets ripened, when it is on the branches of the tree, then a parrot eats it and makes it more nectarian, more sweet. So similarly, this Srimad Bhagavatam in the form of ripened fruit, it is being tested by Srila Sukdev Goswami. So because of this, it has become even more ripened, and it is full of rasa, mellows. And the devotees even go to an extent that they say this is the juice, because sometimes people say that the fruit is good, but there are also seeds. But the Acharya said that Srimad Bhagavatam is that fruits uh, rasar, the nichod, that's fruit's essence. When that pulp is brought out from the fruit, that sweet pulp without any seed is the Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is the glory of the Srimad Bhagavatam which we are hearing from the lips of pure devotees like Srila Shukdev Goswami. And on the top of that, like a cherry on the cake, so this cake is given by Srila Shukdev Goswami, and the purport makes it more palatable for us. So that's why we say this cherry on the cake. So this cherry on the cake work is done by Srila Prabhupada, and he has given this beautiful purports, Bhakti Vedanta purports, so that we can relish this purport, and by relishing the purport, we can actually understand the true meaning of the verse, the shloka. Because where there is shloka, there is no shoka, there is no lamentation. So that's why this shloka of Srimad Bhagavatam are capable of removing all our obstacles, capable of removing all our lamentations. Because Krishna hai Surya Sam, Maya hai Andhakar, Jaha Surya Taha Nai Maya Radhikar. Because Krishna is like the sun, the Srimad Bhagavatam is like sun, as we discussed, and Maya is like darkness, ignorance. But where Krishna is present, there is no question of darkness, and where there is darkness, when where there is darkness, if there is a appearance of sun, then the darkness will immediately go away. So similarly, when Srimad Bhagavatam is present, when Krishna is present in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam, all the doubts and all the lamentations will immediately disappear because of the rise of Srimad Bhagavatam. So we are reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 19th chapter, which is a very important chapter of this first canto, because it talks about the appearance of Shukdev Goswami. Because now we heard in the beginning how this Mahabharat's Yudh, the war has been finished, and how the Kunti prays, how Vishmadev prays, and how the son of Drona is finished, and how Krishna stays with Yudhishthir Maharaj and his associates, his brothers and Mother Kunti, for some time in Hastinapur, and little politics is there. And then he goes back to his kingdom, Dwarka Nagari. There he stays with his dear devotees, and how Dhritarashtra retires, and how Maharaj Parikshit has been born, and how he is blessed with beautiful qualities. So these rishis were even more encouraged or excited to hear about Shukdev Goswami also, because Shukdev Goswami is the one who gave the Srimad Bhagavatam after hearing from his dear father Srila Vyasdev. So they were very excited about what exactly happened, that this Srimad Bhagavatam appeared between these two great souls. This is Shukdev Goswami and Maharaj Parikshit. So they were very excited, and to hear this, their Shaunagati rishis are putting questions one after another, like a jigyasu person, like the one who is very eager to hear about this pastime. So one after another they are putting the questions. So at the end of this conversation, Srila Sutta Goswami talks about the appearance of Shukdev Goswami, and then starts narrating what exactly has been discussed in between these two great souls. So that's why this particular verse, or the chapter which we are reading today, so it is related to that how Shukdev Goswami appeared on the banks of the Ganges to deliver Maharaj Parikshit. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, this particular chapter 19th, and we'll take the shlokas 20 to 24.
प्रभु आप शेयर करेंगे या यू वांट राव प्रभु टू शेयर?
Yes, bro, I'm sharing, bro.
Okay, great.
Can you see my screen, Prabhu?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can see.
Okay, bro. Thank you. Yeah, I'll recite the verse. Verse number 20. नावाइदं राजऋषिवर्यचित्रम् भवत्सु कृष्णं समानुव्रतेषु ये अध्याशनं राजकिरीटजुष्टां साध्यो जहुर्भागवत् परश्वकामः. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Anybody would like to read?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, translation. The sages said, O chief of all the saintly kings of the Pandu dynasty, who are strictly in the line of Lord Sri Krishna, it is not at all astonishing that you give up your throne, which is decorated with the helmets of many kings, to achieve eternal association with the personality of Godhead. Purpose. Foolish politicians who hold political administrative posts think that the temporary posts they occupy are the highest material gain of life, and therefore they stick to those posts even up to the last moment of life, without knowing that achievement of liberation as one of the associates of the Lord in his eternal abode is the highest gain of life. The human life is meant for achieving this end. The Lord has assured us in the Bhagavad Gita many times that going back to Godhead, his eternal abode, is the highest achievement. Prahlada Maharaja, while praying to Lord Narasimha, said, "O my Lord, I am very much afraid of the materialistic way of life, and I am not the least afraid of your present ghastly, ferocious feature of Narasimha Deva. This materialistic way of life is something like a grinding stone, and we are being crushed by it. We have fallen into this horrible whirlpool of the tossing waves of life. And thus, my Lord, I pray at your lotus feet to call me back to your eternal abode as one of your servitors. This is the summit liberation of this materialistic way of life. I have very bitter experience of the materialistic way of life. In whichever species of life I have taken birth, compelled by the force of my own activities, have very painfully experienced two things, namely separation from my beloved and meeting with what is not wanted. And to counteract them, the remedies which I undertook were more dangerous than the disease itself. So I drift from the one point to another, birth after birth, and I pray to you, therefore, to give me a shelter at your lotus feet. The Pandava kings, who are more than many saints of the world, knew the bitter results of the materialistic way of life. They were never captivated by the glare of the imperial throne they occupied, and they sought always the opportunity of being called by the Lord to associate with him eternally. Maharaja Parikshit was the worthy grandson of Maharaja Yudhishthira. Maharaja Yudhishthira gave up imperial throne to his grandson, and similarly Maharaja Parikshit, the grandson of Maharaja Yudhishthira, gave up the imperial stone to his son Janamejaya. That is the way of all the kings in the dynasty because they are all strictly in the line of Lord Krishna. Thus, the devotees of the Lord are never enchanted by the glare of materialistic life, and they live impartially, unattached to the objects of the false, illusory materialistic way of life. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. So here, as Maharaj Parikshit arrived on the banks of the Ganges to fast until death, all the sages from all over the universe they appeared there because they knew that here the great devotee of the Lord is surrendering to the Lord, so there will be definitely be something extraordinary will happen. So that's why all the great sages appeared there, and the sages are qualified to turn every place into pilgrimage, but still they came there on these banks of the Ganges to see this historical event of Srimad Bhagavatam, and not thinking that I am the great or you are the great, they humbly came and they are having conversation with Maharaj Parikshit. They are praising Parikshit Maharaj. Wow, very nice. As Maharaj Parikshit submitted to them that this is what I'm going planning to do. Please advise on this. So this is the humility we can learn from Maharaj Parikshit, that even though he was a great king, all the ministers were to his side, and he was the great Chakravarti Samrat, the emperor of the whole world. But still, taking a humble position, he submitted to all the great sages. And before this one or two verses, he spoke this very nice verse. The verse number 16, it is a verse to by heart, that punascha bhuyat bhagavati anante rati prasangastadashrayeshu matsuyamyam upayami srishtim maitri astu sarvatra namo dvijebhya. That again, offering obeisances to unto all you brahmanas, I pray that if I should again take my birth in the material world, I have complete attachment to Lord Sri Krishna. Secondly, association with his devotees and friendly relation with all living beings. So even though he was a king, but still, since although he has surrendered to the Lord by sacrificing everything and coming on the banks of the Ganges, but still he is praying that even though if I take my birth again, then please may I have a complete attachment to Lord Sri Krishna. Not only that, I should also have the association with all of his dear devotees. And thirdly, I should I should have a friendly relation with all living beings, because he knew that unintentionally he has offended the Samik Rishi, and owing to that, his son Shringi has cursed him. So he's praying that I should have a good, healthy, and relationship with all the living entities. So this is a teaching for us. Even though we are head of the family, manager of the company, or whatever degrees or whatever material coverings, so-called material status we have, but still we should always take this humble position of always surrendering to the Lord. Even though we are so bigger, but still we should try to surrender to the Lord, because the tree which has fruits always bends down. Similarly, the devotee who have this transcendental good qualities and knowledge or more qualification and all, they should always bow down to the Lord. Secondly, they should always have the association of devotees, because the devotees are like mirror, and they will give us the right teaching. So it is better to stay with the devotees, because otherwise people are there to exploit us, but devotees are there to nourish us. So the devotees are there to nourish, and and one should have a friendly relation with all living beings. Although we are following the path of devotion, or we have doing so much for, so much spiritual activities, devotional activity, but still we should also have a healthy relationship with all living entities. This is the lesson we can have. And Maharaj Parikshit, showing all these good symptoms, he is praying that even though I offended this rishi, but still in the next life, if I take the birth, I should have a healthy relationship with all the living entities. And hearing this wonderful attitude of Maharaj Parikshit, all the great sages were telling Jai Ho, very nice, very nice. And they are glorifying the king, that, oh, chief of all saintly kings, because Maharaj Parikshit was a Raja Rishi. He was a saintly king because he was ruling, because the king is the representative of the Lord. So similarly, here Maharaj Parikshit was representing Lord Sri Krishna. So that's why, in order to show uh, his devotional attitude, he is expressing his gratitude towards the great sages, and the sages are also blessing him that you are strictly in the line of Sri Krishna, that you are the Pandu Vanshaj, you are the Kuldeep of this Pandu dynasty. And they are telling that it is not so surprising for us that you have left your throne, which is decorated with many helmets of kings, because many great kings like Maharaj Pandu, Maharaj Shantanu, and uh, Maharaj Yudhishthir were sat on this great throne. And so you have sacrificed this to achieve the association with the personality of Godhead. So this is not astonishing, because the great sages can easily identify the qualities of a person. They don't need a special scanner for that, like our superiors, or let's say our spiritual master. When he sees us, he sees through us that what we are doing and where we are lying. So this is the thing which the great sages knew, and that's why they are glorifying him. That your decision is very nice, because in this material world nobody will be able to please anyone. Somehow or other he will be enchanted, uh, or he will be at fault, and because of that he will have to suffer. But those devotees like you, Maharaj Parikshit, you have, you have surrendered, since you have surrendered to the lotus feet of the Lord, so nothing evil can harm you, nothing can harm you, because you are always surrendered to the lotus feet of the Lord. And this purport Srila Prabhupada adds a very nice example, that in the grinding stone, you know, in the grinding stone earlier, they used to chakki पीसने के लिए they used to use that grinding stone. uh, so that's why, so that grinding machine was used. Nowadays we use mixer or ghar ganti and all, but earlier the grinding stone was being used to have that floor. So it has been given example that those who are inside the grinding floor, um, they will in no time they will be crushed by this grinding stone. But those who are situated very close to the grinding stone, they will not be affected, because the grinding stone is made in such a way that the inside part will not be able to crush it. So the external part, as you have seen sometimes the grinding stone, so if it is nearer, then you are not able to, you will not be able to crush that particular area, the other area will be crushed. So similarly, those who are surrendered to the Lord's lotus feet, those who are near to the Lord's lotus feet, they will not be crushed by this, by in this material world, because they are always surrendered to the Supreme Lord. To give more clarity, I will also give one example of a fisherman. So the fisherman used to always come for fishing on a seashore, and every day used to throw his big net um, onto the sea to catch many fishes as he can. So one fish was always escaping the net of this fisherman. So some fishes inside the water, they asked her that what extraordinary thing that you are doing, that all the fishes are being taken away by this fisherman and you are surviving, how you are managing to survive. So this fish gave a very nice answer. The fish said that whenever this fisherman is throwing his net and is waiting for some time, so at that time, instead of being enchanted by the uh, some food which is, you know, hanging to the net and stuff, I am just going near to the feet of this fisherman, because the fisherman is not throwing net towards or near to his feet. He is throwing net far from his feet to catch many fishes as he can. And taking this opportunity, I used to always roam around or swim around his lotus feet. So that's why I am always surviving. So the the moral is that when we'll also serve, or we'll stay near to the Lord's lotus feet or his devotees lotus feet, then although he is doing fishing, or although the Lord is, you know, taking lives, mrityu sarvaharasya, he is always standing uh, as the superintendent of death, but still the devotees who are surrendered to him will not be uh, will not see him as the superintendent of death. They will only see him as the Sham Sundar Krishna. Hare Krishna. So we'll move on to the next verse, text 21. One second. Hare Krishna. So we'll recite this verse 21. सर्वे वयं तव धियास्महे अथ कलेवरं यावद् असौ विहाय लोकं परं विराजस्कं विशोकं यस्यति अयं भागवत प्रधानः. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Anybody would like to read?
I can read for the Lord.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Translation. We shall all wait here until the foremost devotee of the Lord, Maharaja Parikshit, returns to the supreme planet, which is completely free from all mundane contamination and all kinds of lamentation. Purport. Beyond the limitation of the material creation, which is compared to the cloud in the sky, there is the Paravyoma, or the spiritual sky, full of planets called Vaikunthas. Such Vaikuntha planets are also differently known as the Purushottama Loka, Achyuta Loka, Trivikrama Loka, Rishikesa Loka, Keshava Loka, Aniruddha Loka, Mahadava Loka, Pradyumna Loka, Shankarshana Loka, Sridhara Loka, Vasudeva Loka, Ayodhya Loka, Dwaraka Loka, and many other millions of spiritual lokas wherein the personality of Godhead predominates. All the living entities, there are liberated souls with the spiritual bodies as good as that of the Lord. There is no material contamination. Everything there is spiritual, and therefore there is nothing objectively lamentable. They are full of transcendental bliss and are without birth, death, old age, and disease. And amongst all the above mentioned Vaikuntha lokas, there is one supreme loka called Goloka Vrindavana, which is the abode of Lord Sri Krishna and his specific associates. Maharaja Parikshit was destined to achieve this particular loka, and the great rishis assembled there could foresee this. All of them consulted among themselves about the great departure of the great king, and they wanted to see him up to the last moment because they would be no more be able to see such a great devotee of the Lord. When a great devotee of the Lord passes away, there is nothing to be lamented because the devotee is destined to enter into the kingdom of God. But the sorry plight is that such great devotees leave our sight, and therefore there is every reason to be sorry. As the Lord is rarely to be seen by our present eyes, so also the great devotees. The great rishis therefore correctly decided to remain on the spot till the last moment. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you so much. So the great sages are always the well wishers of everyone. As we discussed, they are the most ever well wisher. So all the saintly persons or spiritual masters, the rishis, brahmanas, they are always the well wishers of the conditioned souls because they don't have to take from any other. They are always dependent upon the Lord. They are Atmaram, like the Lord is self-satisfied, but they are not uh, dependent on any person's any condition souls, but sometimes to give to make some favor upon such condition soul, the saintly person comes in contact with them. So similarly, just to shower their heartful blessings and to see his wonderful departure from this Bhuloka to Goloka, this great sages, they are glorifying Maharaj Parikshit, and they are waiting for that auspicious moment when the Maharaj Parikshit will uh, will get free from this bodily bondation, from the bodily bondage and the contamination and the curse and so forth. So that's why they are very happy, and at the same time they are sad also, because दुर्लभो मानुष देवो देहि नाम क्षण भंगुर तत्रापि दुर्लभम मन्ये वैकुंठ प्रिय दर्शन दुर्लभो मानुष देहो देहि नाम क्षण भंगुर. It is very rare to have a human form of life. Durlabho manusya deho dehi nam shana bangura. Because this human form of life can end at any time, at any moment. No guarantee. Even a 20-year-old guy can also have heart attack. So what to speak of 50-year-old guy? Durlabha manusya deho dehi nam shana bangura. Tatrapi durlabham manye vaikunta priya darshana. So it has been said, the more rarer than to have a human form of life, tatrapi durlabham manye vaikunta priya darshana. More rarest than having a human form of life is to have the darshan, or uh, to have uh, to get the opportunity to see a devotee. Vaikunta priya darshana, because the devotees are Vaikunta priya, or they are very devotee, they are very dear to the Lord of the Vaikunta. So that's why Vaikunta Priya Darshana. So this King Nimi says in this 11th canto, this particular verse, that Durlabha Manusha Deho Dehi Nam Shana Bangura, that human form of life can end at any moment. But Tatrapi, the more rarer than this human form of life is the association or the darshan of the saintly persons. Because when we see a saintly person, the saintly person makes us remember of the lotus feet of the Lord. So he connects us to the Lord. As in our childhood, we have seen this is equation is if A equals to B and B equals to C, then A is equals to C. So similarly, Srila Prabhupada also quotes in his daily quotes that I am attached to Krishna, but you are attached to me. So indirectly, you are also attached to Krishna. Why? Because I am attached to the Lord Sri Krishna, and you are attached to me because I have a complete faith in Lord Krishna. So that's why serving me, that means you are serving the Lord also. So that's why it is very recommendable, recommended by our acharyas also, that we should always serve in this humble attitude of Das Dasano Das. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also says, Gopi Bhartupad Kamalayor Das Dasano Das. That the devotees of Krishna are not actually devotees, but the devotees of the Lord are actually the devotees. So this in Durvasa Muni's episode also, Lord Sri Krishna says that I am also always in the heart of the devotee, and devotee are in my heart. Not only that, those who are devotees or of my devotees, they are also very dear to me. So that's why, since Maharaj Parikshit is surrendering to themselves to give them good advice what he can do, so they are very happy, because they knew that since he has lot of faith in the Supreme Lord and in us as well, so definitely Krishna will arrange something for him. And by fasting till death on the banks of the Ganges, Krishna will arrange his departure very auspiciously to the Goloka Vrindavan Dham or Vaikunta Loka, because that particular Loka has been said Vaikunta because it is beyond Kunta. There is no Kunta. But this particular Loka, the material world, is a Kunta Lok, because there are always anxieties and sufferings. But that Vaikunta, there are no anxieties, so that's why it is known as Vaikunta. And as mentioned in the purport, they will have the same bodily features of the Lord in Vaikunta, and there are so many Vaikunta planets, as we can hear Keshava Lok, Rishikesh Lok, Achyuta Lok, Purushottam Lok. And in all this Vaikunta Loka, this Narayan personality is there with four-handed Shankha Chakra Gada Padma, and many Lakshmi Sahasra Satasambrava Sevyamanam. Thousands and millions of Lakshmis are serving the Lord Narayan, and the other devotees of the Lord are also having the four-handed picture, and they are always serving the Lord in reverence. But in Goloka Vrindavan, they are in Sakhya Ras, Madhurya Ras, Vatsalya Ras. So this Goloka Vrindavan is even more higher than the Vaikuntha Loka, and the devotees always aspire to go to the Goloka, because there they can play with Krishna, there they can eat with Krishna, and because in Vaikuntha Loka they have the reverence form, but in Goloka Vrindavan there is, friendship, uh, Sakhya, then Madhurya, Vatsalya. This kind of rasas are more relished by the devotees. So many devotees aspire for the Goloka Vrindavan. So, seeing this Maharaj Parikshit mood, the great sages thought that he will definitely go to the Goloka Vrindavan. So, of course, there is no harm in going to Vaikunta or Goloka Vrindavan, but at least we should have desire to uplift ourselves in the transcendental Vaikuntha planets or Goloka Vrindavan. Hare Krishna. So we'll move on to the next slok, verse number 22. अश्रुत्य तदृशी गणा वाचा परीक्षे समं मधुच्युद्गुरु च व्यालिकम् अभ्यासतायनम् अभिनन्द्य युक्तान् शुश्रूषमनश्चरितानि विष्णोः. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
I can read
All,
the translation.
yes, Prabhu. Yes. Thank you.
All that was spoken by the great sages was very sweet to hear, full of meaning and appropriately presented as perfectly true. So after hearing them, Maharaj Parikshit, desiring to hear of the activities of Lord Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, congratulated the great sages. Jai Sri Prabhupada, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much. So in this particular slok, the verse, this verse is this word is very important. Shushrushya Manas Charitani Vishnu. That even though the sages are glorifying Maharaj Parikshit, but still he is not telling, "Oh, thank you, yes, 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 you understood. I am great. I am devotee of the Lord. So thank you so much. I deserve this glorification." No, with utter humility, he he was very grateful. He expressed his gratitude towards the great sages, and he said, "Congratulations. So thank you so much for your kind words. It is very sweet to hear." But Maharaj Parikshit was interested in was interested not in his glorification, but the glorification of the Supreme Lord. So that's why he is here. It is mentioned Shushrusha Manas Charitani Vishnu. He was very eager and excited to hear about the Supreme Lord's pastimes, the Parakram. That's why Kapil Muni also says to his mother Devuti, that satam prasangam mama virya samvido bhavanti ritkarna rasayana katha tajjoshana dasa apavarga vartamani shraddha artir bhaktir anukramishati. That in the association of devotees, my parakram or my chivalrous activities are being glorified by the Lord. Satam prasangam mama virya samvido. They talk about my chivalrous activities, my virya ras activities. Rasanti ras karna rasayana katha. Because when such pastimes, the chivalrous pastimes of the Lord are entered in the through the years in the hearts of the devotees, mama virya samvido bhavanti rasayana katha. Because it is full of rasa, it is full of the nectar. And once this nectar is inside, then Shraddha, he will have that transcendental faith in me. And in this way, Shraddha Ratir Bhaktir Anukramishyati. And step by step, he will progress towards me on the path of devotion. So that's why. So Maharaj Parikshit was very eager, and he was desiring to hear the activities of the Lord. And at the same time, he thanked them, he congratulated them for being there with them at this last moment, because a devotee always thinks of others. No common man on the street will think of others. Even if somebody drops his wallet, nobody, especially in this age, hardly someone will come and say, "Oh, this is you, or this belongs to you. Please take it." Or say if somebody does it also, but still he will expect some reward from it. But the saintly person are always ready to give themselves to others and to speak some good things about others. So in this way, they are amanina manadena kirtanya sadari. They are always ready to give respect to others, and they don't accept respect for others. In this way, they perform devotional service with blissful attitude, and that's why they stay peaceful as well. So Maharaj Parikshit also always ready to give respect to others, and he is not ready to accept respect for himself. So in this way, he congratulated them and he expressed his gratitude, because if you are not grateful, then you are a great fool. So we should always be grateful whatever we have, even though it is very small, because as we say, a pauper is also proud of his penny. Everybody is very proud of his work, on his activities, uh, his earnings, his bank balance, his investments, and so other activities. But we should, but in the spiritual life, we are not after the valuables, we are after the values, and that values comes from hearing these beautiful episodes of Srimad Bhagavatam, these beautiful case studies of such devotees, and that will make us more humble. And when the fruit is ripened, it becomes soft and more sweeter. So similarly, when we will also become soft and sweet, then at that time we can say that we have become advanced. But even though we are advanced, we will always find ourselves know that the others are better. So this is the humility of the devotees, and that's why Parikshit Maharaj is thanking them, and he is speaking further. Next verse, text 23. समागतः सर्वत एव सर्वे वेद यथा मूर्तिधरस्त्रिपृष्ठे नेहता न मुद्र न कश्चनार्थ ऋते पारानुग्रहम् आत्मशीलम्. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
I'll read.
Yes.
Translation. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. The king said, O great sages, you have all very kindly assembled here. Having come from all parts of the universe, you are all as good as supreme knowledge personified, who resides in the planet above the three worlds, Satyalok. Consequently, you are naturally inclined to do good to others. And but for this, you have no interest either in this life or in the next. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. 6 kinds of opulences, namely wealth, strength, fame, beauty, knowledge, and education, are all originally the different attributes pertaining to the absolute personality of Godhead. The living beings who are part and parcel entities of the Supreme Being have all these attributes partially, up to the full strength of 78%. In the material world, these attributes, up to the 78% of Lord's attributes, are covered by the material energy. As the sun is covered by a cloud, the covered strength of the sun is very dim compared to the original glare, and similarly the original color of the living being with such attributes become almost extinct. There are 3 planetary systems, namely the lower worlds, the intermediate worlds, and the upper worlds. The human beings on the earth are situated in the beginning of the intermediate worlds, but living beings like Brahma and his contemporaries live in the upper world, of which the topmost is Satyalok. The Satyalok, the inhabitants are fully cognizant of Vedic wisdom, and thus the mystic cloud of material energy is cleared. Therefore, they are known as the Vedas personified. Such persons, being fully aware of knowledge, both mundane and transcendental, have no interest in either the mundane or transcendental worlds. They are partially desireless devotees. In the mundane world, they have nothing to achieve, and in the transcendental world, they are full in themselves. Then, why do they come to the mundane world? They descend to different planets as messahs by the order of the Lord to deliver the fallen souls. On the earth, they come down and do good to the people of the world in different circumstances under different climatic influences. They have nothing to do in this world save and expect reclaim the fallen souls rotting in material existence, deluded by material energy. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much. So the Maharaj Parikshit said further that, "O great sages, you are all very kindly assembled here, having come from all planets of the universe." So the great sages who assembled here were all from different planets of this universe, and they were fully cognizant with the Vedic knowledge, and he knew Maharaj Parikshit because of their effulgence and their from their speech, their words, their vani, that they are fully cognizant of the Vedic knowledge and they belong to the higher worlds like Satya Loka and all. Consequently, you are nicely inclined to do good to others, but for this you have no interest in either in this life or the next. So the it has been said that you can identify the sage or saintly person by his vani. Okay, because you can identify a policeman by his dress, you can identify a lawyer by his dress, you can identify uh, a, a person, a highly educated person with his dress and so on. But these devotees or the saintly persons, if you want to identify them, as just request them to speak, because once a person speaks you will come to know how saintly he is in his behavior. So that's why these people, these saintly persons were not of this world, they were from Satya Loka or Brahma Loka. Satya Loka is also known as Brahma Loka because there are 14 planetary systems, and the topmost is the Brahma Loka, and the lowest is the uh, Patal Loka or Sutal Loka. So Maharaj Parikshit knew their character, their speech, and that's why he's telling that you are always inclined to do good to the others, not for your own interest but for them. Because these great sages were residing in Brahma Loka, and Brahma Loka means they are cognizant or they are fully aware of the Vedic knowledge and principles. And sometimes people take advantage of the Vedic principles to gain something, but these sages were so satisfied, they were so self-satisfied, they were Atmaram, that they didn't had any expectation for themselves. But whenever such devotees who are rotting in the material, whenever such conditioned souls who are rotting in the material world are there, they come to help them on the request of the Lord, like Narad Muni, Durvasa Muni, Gautam Rishi, and so many great sages are there. They're always trying to do good to the others, and that's why they roam here and there to help the conditioned soul, to give them the right path so that they can go back home, back to Godhead. And that's why, and they are self, because they are self-satisfied, they are not lamenting for anything, neither material nor spiritual, because they know what their duty is, what their real happiness lies in. So that's why. So they are always transcendently situated. And that's why Srila Prabhupada writes here that those conditioned souls who are rotting in this material world, deluded by the material energy, aham mamite, that I, me, myself, those who revolve around these three things are definitely under the control of the external energy of the Lord, that is Maya Shakti. So, in order to bring them into the Yoga Maya Shakti, or the internal potency of the Lord, or the devotional potency of the Lord, the great sages play agent to bring them on their uh, transcendental consciousness, to revive that dormant consciousness which is there in every conditioned soul's heart, to revive or to ignite that flame. These great devotees come, and here they knew that Maharaj Parikshit is already elevated, but still to help them with their kind words or to guide them in their path, the great sages appeared there just in the name of visiting a sacred place. Externally it looked like they are coming there to take bath in the sacred place, but internally they were there to help Maharaj Parikshit, and they were there to see how Maharaj Parikshit goes back home, back to Godred. Because this is the only interest of a devotee, to see others engaged in the service of the Lord. So that's why the devotees are parasukha sukhi. They are always happy to see others happily engaged in the service of the Lord. In this material world, we see when other people are, stepping the success ladder of success, generally people get envious. Generally people have fear of losing their own skills and attitude and their position. But the saintly persons are exactly opposite. They always see the good in others, and they always try to uplift them. And Srimati Radharani is the best example. Srimati Radharani, the internal potency of the Lord, she always thinks that I am not a good devotee. But whosoever surrenders to the Lord Sri Krishna, or whosoever shows his devotion unto the Lord, so Srimati Radharani recommends Krishna that please take this devotee. He is very obedient. He is trying to serve you so nicely. So please take it. And Srimati Radharani, we will not see any fight between the gopis of Vrindavan, because they were always trying to satisfy Krishna. They are always trying to provide happiness to Krishna. So this is the mood of the devotee, because they are after after the happiness of Krishna. They are not after the happiness of their own self. They are not uh, in their own sense gratification. They are not uh, they don't like to satisfy their own senses, but they like to satisfy the senses of Krishna, who is known as the Rishikesh. So that's why it is mentioned Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. So the purest and perfect devotional service is to engage all our senses in the service of the Lord, and to engage others in the service of the Lord. So that will help us to to advance in this devotional service. So in this way, the great sages appeared there, and they are congratulating him. And Maharaj Parikshit, realizing their association, he is thankful to them, and for their selfless attitude, because the devotees are always selfless. The devotees of the Lord are always selfless, and while others in the material world are always selfish, they are after their own interest. But when we will also take the position of a devotee, then we will also have this mentality of doing good to others, because in Gita Lord Sri Krishna says that whosoever gives this message of Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam to others, he is more dear to me. So, if we want to become more dear to the Lord, then we should engage all our senses in the service of the Lord, first thing. And secondly, we should preach this message of the Lord, so that others can also perfect their lives, and they can also uh, can reconnect their lost relationship with the Lord. And this will be the best gift, because what Krishna gives, that is his gift to others, but what we become is our gift to Krishna. So this is the final verse of today, text 24. ततश्च य पृच्छमिमं विपृच्छे विश्रव्य विप्र इति कृतात्ययां सर्वात्मना म्रियमाणैश्च कृत्यां शुद्धं च तत्रामृत सताभियुक्तः. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Translation. O trustworthy Brahmanas, I now ask you about my duty, my immediate duty. Please, after proper deliberation, tell me of the unalloyed duty of everyone in all circumstances, and specifically of those who are just about to die. Purport. In this verse, the king has placed two questions before the learned sages. The first question is, what is the duty of everyone in all circumstances? And the second question is, what is the specific duty of one who is to die very shortly? Out of the two, the question relating to the dying man is most important because everyone is a dying man, either very shortly or after 100 years. The duration of life is immaterial, but the duty of a dying man is very important. Maharaja Parikshit placed these two questions before Sukadeva Goswami, also on his arrival, and practically the whole of the Srimad Bhagavatam, beginning from the second canto up to the last, the 12th canto, deals with these two questions. The conclusion arrived at thereof is that devotional service of the Lord Sri Krishna, as it is confirmed by the Lord Himself in the last phase of the Bhagavad Gita, is the last word in relation to everyone's permanent duty in life. Maharaja Parikshit was already aware of this fact, but he wanted the great sages assembled there to unanimously give their verdict on his conviction, so that he might be able to go on with his confirmed duty without controversy. He has especially mentioned the words Suddha are perfectly correct. For transcendental realization or self-realization, many processes are recommended by various classes of philosophers. Some of them are first-class methods, and some of them are second or third class methods. The first class method demands that one give up all other methods and surrender onto the lotus feet of the Lord, and thus be saved from all sins and their reaction. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Very important purport. So Maharaj Parikshit continues uh, further after congratulating and expressing his gratitude. He requests them that please tell me what is my immediate duty, because so far he has not seen Shukdev Goswami, and he has sacrificed everything, Maharaj Parikshit, and that's why he is eager to know about his prime duty, because he is on the flag end of his life. So with so he requests them that please tell me about my immediate duty, because after please after proper deliberation tell me that what is the duty of everyone in all circumstances, and especially for those who are about to die. So this is the important question which one should ask. That's why in Vedanta Sutra it has been said athato brahma jigyasa, that we should always inquire about the Brahma or the Parabrahma, that is Lord Sri Krishna. But people are so engrossed in this material world for their daily bread and butter, or say their daily life roti kapda makan, that they are so engrossed that they hardly look after their dhoti kurta and harina, or their devotional attributes. Because we see that people are dying every day, but nobody knows that where he is going and how it is happening, that he is living for x years and then he is dying. But still nobody is asking these questions, that what is the duty of the person who is about to die. Like example is also given by our acharyas, that in the near the butcher house there are a lot of goats are being hanged, or goats are being tied to a pole, and they have given lot of grass to eat. And these goats are so much busy in eating this grass that they hardly forget that why I am tied to this particular pole, and where are my other friends are going one by one. They are hardly thinking that. But when their turn comes, they are also being slaughtered. So that's why. So this is not only the situation of those goats, but it is the situation of everyone. Everyone knows that this my friend was there, or this my relative was there. Where he is going? He was there with me, enjoying the life on vacation, or here, there, celebrating Diwali and all. But where he is, he has gone. So people hardly care about this question. But Maharaj Parikshit was so intelligent because he knew that his great grandfather Maharaj Yudhishthira also took this decision, and he sacrificed his throne and he went into the forest to search after this question. So that's why he also sacrificed his kingdom. And being the devotee of the Lord, he has come onto the banks of the Ganges, and seeing these great sages, he is asking this question. So that's why if we see the great sages, we should not ask them that you please read my palm and tell me what is there in my bhagya, or what is there in my fortune, that what I will get, or whether I will get a good wife, or I will get a good car, I will get a good house and all. I'll have a good bank balance or not. Whether my children will go to America for higher studies or they will settle there. So this question one should not ask upon once we see the great sages, but the question we should ask that how can we serve you, and how can we make our life successful, or how can we please Lord. So this is the question which one should ask. And Maharaj Parikshit was the most intelligent king. That's why he's known as the Raj Rishi. Although he was in the dress of the king, but from inside he was also a saintly person, devoted to Lord Sri Krishna. And when he saw the other senior saintly persons, he takes his position, he takes his humble position and takes instruction from him that please Shishyastyam Sadi Mamtam Prapannam. As Arjuna surrendered to Lord Krishna in the battle of Kurukshetra, so here Maharaj Parikshit, following the footsteps of his great grandfather Arjuna, seeks this position and takes shelter of these great devotees, because as of so far he has not seen Maharaj Shukdev Goswami. Once he sees him, he will also surrender to him as well. But now, since he has seen these great sages, so that's why surrendering to him, and he's asking this question that what is the duty of everyone in all circumstances, and especially of the dying man. So people may die because Parikshit Maharaj knew that he will die after 7 days. So similarly, we should also learn that we will also be dying in one of these 7 days, either Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Out of these 7 days only, we have to die. So, seeing these circumstances of Maharaj Parikshit, we should also take learning that life is very short. We don't know when our last moment will come. So, let us utilize this moment perfectly, because Chanakya Pandit says that a moment of time wasted cannot be brought back by paying hundreds and thousands of gold coins. So this is how valuable the time is. Nowadays, people say, "Oh, I'm doing time pass," but they don't know they are not doing time pass, but the time is passing them. So we should be very careful with this. We should get alert signal from these pastimes of the devotees of the Lord, that how we should revive our dormant consciousness and engage in the service of the Lord. Because Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Sadhya Kabunai Shravanadi Shuddha Chitta Karayodha. In Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita it has been said that Krishna Prem is always there in the heart of a person, conditioned soul. But when he starts hearing and chanting of the Lord, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Sadhya Kabunai Shravanadi Shuddha Chitta Karayodha. When we start hearing about the Lord from his ears, the the mirror of the heart gets cleansed day by day, and then he revives his dormant consciousness, that is Krishna consciousness. So many of us are staying abroad. So when we go to India, sometimes our accounts get dormant because of not initiating transaction for several days. So what the bank person advises us, do some deposit, do some withdrawal, at least make a transaction, then only your account will get active. So that's why we initiate a transaction and the accounts get activated. So similarly, the Lord's devotees are also requesting us that do some transaction, just offer a ghee lamp in this month of Kartik, just sing Damodar Ashtakam, just go to the temple and bow down to the Lord just offer a ghee lamp to the Lord, or uh, just pray to the Lord. In this way, just do a simple transaction and then your relation will be activated. So this is how we also need to do in order to activate. And if we are already activated, we should have a strong relationship with our not only with our banks, but with the Lord as well as his devotees also, so that so that we will not do our things our own way, but we should always check with our superior whether I'm doing these things or right. So that's why we have the parampara or tradition called accepting diksha guru and shiksha guru, because shiksha guru will teach us and diksha guru will initiate us in the process of devotion. So both of them are very important, but the diksha guru, the initiating spiritual master, may be different, maybe one only, but there will be several shiksha gurus, there will be several teachers who can teach us on the path of devotion. So we should not follow our own way on the path of bhakti, but we should always take suggestions from our superior devotees, so that we can progress on the right path in the right way. Because as for every learning will require a teacher and the guidance, so similarly we should always seek the guidance of the elder or senior Vaishnavas, because they are the seers of truth. That's why it is said in Bhagavad Gita also, tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshantite jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. Because they are seers of the truth, so just serve them selflessly and hear from them. Just put your jigyasa, just put your inquiry, and they will answer you. And by hearing them, you will be able to know what is your duty, and then engage in the service of the Lord. And in Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna says that please give up all the so-called religions and just surrender to me. I will protect you from all inauspicious things. I will protect you from all sinful activities. So just surrender. So this is the conclusion of Gita as well. Just we need to surrender to the Lord. Just we need to surrender to the representative of the Lord, as Maharaj Parikshit is surrendering. And then we should ask the questions which is not relating to our material progress, but we should ask the questions for our spiritual progress. Because everybody uh, is going for selfie realization. They are clicking their selfie and they are thinking this is me. But we are here for self realization. We need to realize that who am I, why I am suffering here, what is my duty, and how can I uh, come out of all these sufferings, how can I make a permanent solution. So this is what the devotees will explain us, our seniors will explain us, our guru will explain us, and then we'll be able to do our self realization. And then here, Srila Prabhupada writes, there may be so many methods of achieving self-realization. But the first class method is very important. And the first class method of this age of Kali Yuga is to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. To chant this Hare Krishna mantra, and especially in this month of Kartik, the month of Damodar, we should offer the Lord with the ghee lamp. We should always every day we should offer the Lord patram pushpam phalam to. We should offer the Lord uh, a tulsi leaf, a flower, little water. We should offer a ghee lamp to the Lord, especially in the month of Damodar, to Yashoda the Damodar, because Yashoda Damodar uh, is the predominating, or rather Damodar is the predominating deity of the Kartik month, and Srimati Radharani's month is this Kartik month, which is also known as the Urja Vrat. So when we follow this Urja Vrat in this month of Kartik, by doing little to the Lord will magnify it, and he will see, oh, this devotee has done so much for me. And then the Lord will help, because God helps those who help themselves. So if we will help ourselves to progress in the service of the Lord, then the Lord will give us all protection. Because the Lord also confirms in the Bhagavad Gita that dadami buddhi yogam tam, that I give the intelligence to my devotee to come to me. And the Lord also says that what we lack, the Lord will provide us, and what we have, the Lord will preserve us. So we should always have this faith. And since it is a Diwali season, and we should always decorate in this month, in Diwali days, we should always decorate our house with the diyas for the Lord's welcome, as well as the heart with the love lamp. We should always ready to welcome the Lord in our hearts as well as the home, because Lord Ramchandra says in Ramayana, Sakri Deva Prapanno Yas Tavasmiti Chavayachate Abhayam Sarvada Tasmai Nitya Sakrideva Prapanno Yastava Smiti Chayachate Abhayam Sarvada Tasme. This is my Dridha Vrata. So the Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita, sorry, this Lord Sri Ram says in the Ramayana Yuddha Kand that Sakrideva Prapanno Yas, that whosoever surrenders to me, Sakri Deva Prapanno Yas, that it is my vow, if one only one seriously surrenders to me, saying, my dear Lord Sri Ram, Sri Krishna, from this day I am yours, and prays to me for courage. Lord Ram says, I shall immediately award courage to that person, and he will always remain safe from that time on. Dadami etad vratam mama. This is the vrata of the Lord, and the Lord is Satya vrata. So let's pray for each other so that we can always engage in the service of the Lord 100% to the best of our abilities and capacities. And in this way, the Lord will help us to uh, to stay stable on the path of the bhakti, and then we can achieve self-realization. And as Maharaj Parikshit is going back home, back to Godhead, so similarly we should also follow his footsteps, and we should also aspire before we expire to go back home, back to Godhead. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Wonderful class, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Excellently covered so many different points. Hare Krishna. Anybody has any question?
Prabhuji, I had a little doubt.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, my initiation has not yet been done. So I don't have a guru. So whom to listen to, the senior devotees, or I mean, when I keep on hearing Bhagavatam and different classes, should I keep on doing it the same way?
Hare Krishna Mataji, very nice question. Yes, Mataji, you can try whatever you are doing is good, but you can try to read Srila Prabhupada books, and you can try to hear Srila Prabhupada lectures. And if you are having a near ISKCON temple or other temples, then you can go there and offer some service, and there you can try to hear among the devotees this katha and all. So that will be more
Prabhuji,
beneficial.
online kathas are also okay. If I don't get a chance to go to temple, to love feast and all, online kathas are okay.
Yes, Mataji, that is also fine. And simultaneously, you can, try to hear a few lectures of our ISKCON gurus, the sannyasis,
Yes. Yes.
and by hearing them, you will naturally develop a attraction for hearing one of them. To hear one of them, then you can keep hearing about them. Then you can inquire about him, his services and all, and then you can also meet that guru's disciple, and then in that way you can choose him, Mataji. So this will be the right process. And if you have any senior devotees around, you can also connect them. So depending upon your interest and your sevas, they will also help you to get a right guru, Mataji.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Mataji, just to add to that, today are you chanting today?
I am chanting 8 rounds past many months.
Acha. And before you start chanting, are you chanting Prabhupada Pranali Mantra also?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So basically, the reason why we chant this mantra in the initial days is because we have come to ISKCON, and the founder Acharya of ISKCON is Srila Prabhupada. So before we
Huh.
accept our
That
Guru,
is this mantra, na? Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale.
Yes, Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanamine. So
Nityanamine.
yeah, so
Srimate
Srimate Bhakti
Bhakti
Vedanta means we are actually invoking Srila Prabhupada's mercy and we are praying to him. So actually this is because we consider Srila Prabhupada as our first guru. Okay,
Yeah.
before we accept any other guru within ISKCON Parampara. So until we accept other guru, Srila Prabhupada is our guru.
Okay.
And I will connect with you, Mataji, further because we conduct Bhagavad Gita classes at different days of the week also. So maybe in case you are interested,
But
you can
Prabhuji,
join.
I'm working and I come back by 10 at night.
Okay, take it. So I'll propose something to you. You see whether something is feasible, you can attend accordingly. If at all not, then maybe some other daytime we can look at.
Yes. Today, because of Diwali, I could join. I mean, I don't have to rush today. But otherwise, last Saturday also, I had to rush within half an hour.
Okay.
Uh,
But you can
Okay,
always
Prabhu.
hear these lectures once they are uploaded to YouTube also, if you get time.
Yes. I do that only, Prabhuji, because I am left with no other choice.
Correct. Thank you so much. Thanks, Madam.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Any other question?
No, as of now, nothing.
Okay. Anyone else?
Thank you.
Any other question? No.
All okay, Guruji.
Okay, great. So thank you, Keshava Bharati Prabhu. Wonderful explanation. Nice connected points as well. The importance of life and the spiritual inquiries as well. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for joining.
Guruji, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you
Hare
very much.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.